We move on to our Maryland House of Delegates. Our Republican candidates for the Maryland House of Delegates will each have 3 minutes to promote their candidacy to us. The race for the House of Delegates seat for multiple District 27 is unopposed in District 27C and 29C. Delegate Mark Fisher is unopposed in the primary for District 27.
Thank you. It's an honor to serve for the past 4 years. For anyone who has ever been involved in a campaign, you know that your wife and your family are very much involved. It's a family affair. My wife Dina's here. She's been an integral part of this process, as have all 3 of our children, Sonia, Sam, and Olivia. Jesse actually touched on one of the things I really wanted to speak about this evening, and that is that when Gallup produced this study that 47% of Marylanders wanted to leave this state, it really underscores what is wrong in Annapolis. And essentially, what we're finding out from an increasing number of Marylanders is that they're tired, of course, of the tax burden and the regulatory burden. Okay, so we know that, but what specifically has changed other than the fact the liberals in Annapolis keep piling on more taxes? Well, one of the things that's happened is the World Wide Web has enabled us to go online to see what Annapolis is proposing, right? So we see all the taxes that pass, but we also see the taxes that they want to pass. And so, for example, we keep seeing additional new fees, additional new taxes that they're proposing. I sit on Ways and Means, and it's the tax committee. And it's been a battle for the past 4 years. And one of the things that they discussed on Ways and Means, ladies and gentlemen, that you're now hearing at the federal level is a mileage tax, a per mile tax on your vehicle. So there would be a device put on your vehicle in Maryland, theoretically, that would charge you every mile that you drive. And by the way, this isn't in lieu of the gas tax. This is in addition to the gas tax. And we hear candidates on the other side, the liberals on the other side, talking about they want a carbon tax, they want a wind tax, they want additional gas taxes at the federal level. I mean, folks, in Maryland now, the average household is spending $4,000 more per year that they're giving to Annapolis. It's truly out of control. And I've been up there, and I know my colleagues know that I've been up there, and I want you to know, battle for Ways and Means and telling them no. And what, it's not just no, but it's giving good reasons. So we also need solutions. Solutions. We can't just say no and not have solutions. Folks, when people leave this state, they leave because they want a pay raise. And you know what pay raise you could give Marylanders? Is to eliminate the tax on retirement income once and for all of this state. There's no reason why we can't do this. We know we can do it. It just takes will. It takes courage. It takes help. As Steve Wall said, we need more people. We need more help in Annapolis. We also need to, of course, help the business community. And I've proposed a number of bills in Annapolis to do that, and we'll do the same thing continuously. I know how to grow the economy. We need a pro-growth governor, and we need a pro-growth legislature. Thank you very much for the time.
Mark, I have a question for you. Would you please come back? You and Toni are not going to take over. Question from the audience. Give us one thing that you think would be most effective that you could do to reverse the regulatory crippling of business in our state.
Sure. I think the key thing, in my opinion, is and I'm going to say it, in the business community, we have a number of different taxes, and I think we do have one tax in particular that I put a bill in a number of areas that I'd love to get rid of statewide, and that's the business personal property tax. I also think that in addition to that, we need to shorten the legislative session. You know, in Virginia, I have a friend in Virginia. He served in the House of Delegates in Virginia. Virginia, a much larger state than Maryland, has a 30-day session every even year, and every odd year has a 47-day session. They're able to do their business in half the time and a third of the time as Annapolis does in its 90-minute session. And as you all know, the longer people meet in Annapolis, the more time they have to do bad stuff. So let's shorten that session. Thank you.
Delegate Toni O'Donnell is unopposed in the primary for District 29C. Toni O'Donnell.
Thank you, Cal, and thank you for being here tonight. It's a wonderful turnout, and I'm very, very pleased to be here. I was thinking the other day how fortunate I've been to have started in politics in Calvert County at a time when we had some really great leaders. And it was a tough time for Republicans. Our voter registration numbers were very, very difficult. We were way behind. The Democrats held the sheriff's office and our treasurer's office and just about every other office in the county, and we were in a super minority. And it was similar in St. Mary's County, I have to tell you that too. We now have a board of county commissioners with 5 Republicans on it. We hold almost every state, county-wide office. We have sheriff, we have treasurer with great office, state's attorney. We are so fortunate. And we work with people like, back then, Joyce Lyons Terry's and Margaret Shields King, and you know, I could just go on and on and on, name the people. I was fortunate to train with those folks. Now we have a new set of leaders coming on board. And I'm so pleased when I look around and I see people getting involved, people engaged. We have candidates running for office. This is a wonderful thing, and we're going to help them be the next level of leadership. So you need experience, and you need new ideas. You need both. There's a lot to be said for experience. I learned that as a young man in the United States Navy. We didn't put our youngest Naval Academy graduate in charge of our ship for good reason. You need some experience too in some tough situations. So experience and new ideas, all very, very good. Look, I will be blessed and honored if you send me back for another term. I've tried to maintain a low key because we have contested primaries, county commissioners, and other races. I've kind of tried to stay off the playing field to give folks more time to highlight their candidacies and their campaigns. But once this primary election is over, we must unify. We must immediately unify, pick up those seats in the legislature, and maintain our dominance in these two Southern Maryland counties of Calvert and St. Mary's. It's tremendously important. And why is it important? It's not important so that the Republican Party can say, we're in charge here. That's not it. If that's the measure, why do it? The measure is to effectuate positive change in a very, very out-of-control liberal state. And the stronger we are, the more we offset other areas of the state that are really out of control. So a few years ago, 4 years ago, I asked for you to send me some help. And you did. You sent me Mark Fisher. And it's been wonderful, I have to tell you. But it's not enough. Mark and I need help. I'm going to ask again. I'm going to stop it now because the sign says stop. But I'm going to ask again. Send me more help. Send me a state senator and send me and Mark a couple more delegates so we can complete our task.
Toni, you managed to answer the question I was going to ask you without even asking you. Thank you very much. Our Republican candidates, our new District 27B is where the primary action is for the House of Delegates. Each of our candidates will have 3 minutes. From Prince George's County, candidate Toni Jarboe-Duley is a primary contestant for delegate to represent 27B.
I'm honored to be here in front of the distinguished people of Calvert County. This is my favorite part of running for office, is coming down here and seeing my friends here. As you know, my name is Toni Jarboe-Duley, and I've lived in Maryland all my life. My husband is a retired judge, Patrick Jarboe-Duley. He was mainly an attorney for all those years, but in recent times he was a judge. And we reside in Brandywine. I am a product of the public school system. In Prince George's County, I graduated from Frederick Douglass class of 1971. As I said, I've lived in Maryland all my life. The first part in Hyattsville, and then the latter part, I guess since 1976. No, actually, I've lived in Upper Marlboro, or close to Upper Marlboro, for about 40 years now. I'm a small business owner. I'm a title abstractor. I'm a licensed realtor here in Maryland. I'm a member of the Republican Women Leaders of Calvert County, among other Republican groups. I started my family right after high school, and I worked full-time as a title searcher at the courthouse. My first marriage ended in divorce 3 children later. As a single parent for 14 years, I worked 2 jobs, raised 3 children, Christina, Vicki, and Michael. I ran for political office. I graduated from Maryland University, and I was active in my community as well as many business organizations. Back in 1980, I was hired by former county executive Lawrence J. Hogan, and I responded to constituent complaints. I left that office to go to the Department of Public Works and Transportation as a right-of-way agent. My job was reclassified, and I became a realty specialist for the county, and what that means is that I handled all real estate-related activities for Prince George's County, and that includes acquiring real estate for roadways and other county projects. My biggest project as a county employee was Maryland Route 214, whereby we took a 2-lane highway, and with a cooperative effort between federal funding and state and county, we widened Maryland Route 214 to a dualized lane highway as it is today. Anyway, I'd like to thank you for having me here. I want to thank you for all the votes that I've received in the past for delegate, and I would hope that you would again send me to the general election to represent you. Thank you.
Toni, I have a question. If we sent you to Annapolis to represent District 27B, what would be your highest priority in your freshman effort as a delegate to the House of Delegates in Annapolis?
Because the state of Maryland has really caused itself a lot of problems, we've lost businesses, we've lost residents, we've lost all kinds of things as a result of irresponsible government. So my plan would be to bring accountability back in government and make sure that everyone here expects it. It is not going to be something that somebody just wants to do. And with the problem we have with our taxes, I think the better way to approach it is to start increasing our personal deduction for our Maryland income taxes, especially for our retirees and senior citizens who really, really need this help.
Thank you very much. Our second primary election contestant for delegate representing 27B is Phil Parenti, also from Prince George's County. Phil is the former chairman of the Prince George's Republican Central Committee.
Thanks, Cal. Appreciate it. I wasn't big enough around with my glasses on. Would like to thank all of you. Thank you for having me. And I'd like to say hello to Calvert County. I live on Prince George's side of Tucson. Actually, I call it the West Bank. I am Phil Parenti, and I am running for delegate, Legislative District 27B, retired military, and a former airline manager. Until recently, I was chairman of the GOP in Prince George's County. I stepped down to run for delegate. I did have a life before the Central Committee. Several years ago, I began a grassroots effort to try to straighten some things out. I've I've spoken with so many folks in the last few years, and they all seem really frustrated with our government, especially our state, with all levels of it actually, mainly because of the expansion and fiscal insanity that's going on. And when we start talking about this cut spending more than any other administration in Maryland history, recent Maryland history, and I don't know how that's possible when you go from $29 billion a year to $39 billion. But anyway, I shared that frustration with a lot of folks, and to ease our suffering, I decided to step out and run. Now, we did talk about, I did hear someone mention the 47%, Mark mentioned it. The Gallup poll said 47% of Maryland seek greener pastures somewhere else, and I looked at that. We're number 3 for those who want to run out of the state. The first one is Illinois. Second one is Connecticut. The third one is Maryland. I'm thinking to myself, Mark O'Malley likes to see single digits, but I don't think he's going to be bragging about that single digit placement. I also look at some of the problems that those states have, and we share them. It's a bigger government, coincidentally, a tough gun law. I don't think our gun law is going to do what they say it's going to do. But anyway, I mentioned fiscal insanity and expanding government. I think that what it does is it creates erosions in our freedoms. And I don't think that a lot of what they're doing is making Maryland a better place. I think that with the gun bill, with the expanding government and increasing taxes, I think that if we are going to have a better Maryland, we need to back some of that off. So that's part of the reason I'm out here, to do just that, to join Toni, join Mark. Let's have a better Maryland. My name is Phil Parenti. You can find me at philparenti.com. Look for me on Facebook, and I thank you for indulging me.
If we send you to Annapolis to represent 27B, what is going to be your initial priority in representing that district of Prince George's County folks and Calvert County folks?
Calvert County, I gotta get used to saying that. Well, my first priority is, it goes along with the business side. If we can start to cut spending so that we can reduce taxes and reduce the regulations on business, I think that's the direction we need to go, and that's the reason why I'm here. I do have one friend of mine who owns a Cheltenham service station. It's one of the last holdouts in Maryland for having someone come out, a gas attendant, someone come out and actually pump the gas in your car. He had to pay $500 per person for training for them to go do that. I mean, I could go up and pump gas in it all day long, but it's $500 per person. He has 4 people do it. That's $2,000 that he can spend somewhere else. It's that kind of silliness that I think we should take a look at.
Thank you very much. Bill Parenti.